All right, cool. Hey, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 18th. This is the retrospective meeting for the Cluster API release team. A couple reminders that as a subproject in Kubernetes SIGs, we do adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to being kind to one another. I guess for this meeting, it would be helpful if people would use the raise hand feature if you'd like to talk. So yeah, typically this time would be used to just kind of discuss, any in-flight tasks or, discussion topics for release items. Today we're going to be doing the retrospective for this entire release cycle. And I do see some new faces here too, so it might be cool to introduce yourself if you were not on the previous release team and you're just joining, or if you're just attending out of um, interest or feedback for the release cycle. So I'll stop for a sec if anybody wants to raise their hand and just introduce themselves.
So yeah, I can start. Hello everyone, I'm Niveta. I work at CERN, and this time I'm part of upcoming release team. So yeah, looking forward to work with you all and learn. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. Nice to meet you. Anyone else care to introduce themselves? There. Cool. So I guess we can just go ahead and get started. I'm not sure. I didn't put together an agenda for this. I essentially just took the headlines from the last retrospective meeting, which I thought was pretty helpful, um, to just kind of scope out, what we think went well, what could be improved, and very starting at a high level about the release process. So if people have thoughts and want to chime in now, please go ahead. I can pause. I'm sure I can start with some things if you want to add them to the list, and we can go through them. We go. Uh, yeah, it's a pretty open format. So I got rid of the bullet list there. So I can start. I think at least something that I kind of noticed as we all kind of talk and type at the same time, and just kind of trying to clean up the in-flight tasks was that we made a ton of progress on the improvement tasks from this cycle, which was really cool to see. Some of them, were just closing as maybe not worth putting the effort in, or were kind of long-standing, questions that people had or ideas for improvement. But either way, closing them is great, regardless of whether it's implementing something new, which is also very cool, or just coming to a conclusion about, something that should have been done, or clearing up some ambiguity in the release process. So that was really nice to kind of go through over the past couple weeks and just see how much progress we've really made on top of just this kind of day-to-day stuff in the release. Actually cutting the releases is seeing how much we were able to get through on this improvement board. So I thought that was really, really cool. And I see people are typing. I don't know if Adil, you want to type and talk at the same time, or I can wait for a bit.
Yeah, sure. So there were some really long-lasting flakes in CI that have been fixed in this cycle. One of them was in dual stack, and one of them was in the upgrade. Um, in upgrade, we had multiple flakes. Most of them were fixed. There is one flake that is still remaining. So CI is much greener as compared to previous life cycle. CI team has not been able to fix a lot of them, but maintainers help in fixing them, and we were able to maybe point out some investigations to the maintainers. So yeah, I think that went pretty good.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the signal was yeah, pretty green for this last release. Great to, facilitate that communication, even if we did need help from maintainers. I think that's definitely an important part of, you know, um, the community effort here too, right? So yeah, I totally agree. Sunat, you've got one on what went well. Again.
Yeah, sorry, I was searching for my unmute button, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing that Adil has in mind. So this time we didn't have any major breaks or like long-term the breaks that would also block the releases. At least I cannot remember. It was pretty nice. Like kudos to all Adil and all the CI Signal team. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, totally agreed. And you've also got one down here on what can be improved. You want to roll right into that one, Sunat?
Yeah, I also wanted to have a uh, maybe ways to get more involvement from all team members general wise yeah, we know all of us in a different level, so probably we can have some kind of sessions, or we already have the sessions, we could have combined them for making learning tool quick start with a CL signal or something like that, or a couple of videos we can have them in one place so newcomers will read, and then it will be easy for them to get involved. It's big, it's a bit difficult to right away to get involved. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Actually, I'm not sure if I explained myself pretty well, but yeah, I can clarify if needed. Yeah.
No, I think that made sense. Okay. So does this note seem related? I was trying to kind of encapsulate um, like something along those lines, a collection of links, or an easy way for someone who's brand new to CI team to say, oh, okay, here's a good way for me to get familiar with CI.
Yeah, that's that's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, and it is challenging, right? It's definitely, I think that definitely came up last release as well. We want to keep the release team as an opportunity for those with less experience in the project and people from all different companies and levels to come in and help out. But CI for sure is a very kind of specialized setup, and it's quite complex for this project too. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there. Yeah. Anybody else have thoughts or questions or comments on? I guess I didn't really stop in what went well either. Anything we've covered so far?
I have the link of a lot of videos, but I'm not sure how to put them in the documentation. Should we add all of them there, or just maybe make a playlist and add the link of that playlist maybe? But some of them are on Slack. It's a Zoom meeting, or it's not on YouTube. So maybe we can upload them again and create a playlist. Yeah, I can work on that. I
Yeah,
can
that's
I can help you with that.
Yeah, I shared it with the team in the CI team in the chat, but I will try to collect them and upload them on with YouTube.
All right.
And maybe put them on the onboarding. Yeah.
On that note, a YouTube seems to be pretty reasonable. So making one YouTube playlist, that's better. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, agreed. That could be a very helpful resource. Anybody else thoughts on CI, how to get more team members involved and ways we can improve, maybe onboarding and kind of training? Okay, cool. So I have the next one. This is something that came up a couple times. So right now, just to kind of give a bit of context, the way we generate the release notes is a bit of a moving target. So essentially, we'll have the release team generate a draft, maybe the day prior to the actual release. We kind of go through it. They have to make some manual updates to it to like recategorize some PRs. There's some kind of touch ups essentially um, that need to happen. And then just prior to actually kicking off the release, we'll regenerate, and which involves some kind of manual additions usually because there have already been some changes in the original draft, which can be a bit tedious as well. And then the problem is not that either of those, I mean, I think, both of those are surmountable. The issue that we've come across is that at no point is there ever a kind of like a stoppage in what's getting backported to the actual release branches. And when we're cutting the release candidates and the betas from main, things are getting merged to main, potentially at any time during this process. So, it has occurred in the past, and essentially if something gets merged right after we generate the final draft of the release notes and then kick off the job, we then miss that commit and that PR for the release notes. So yeah, I think, one easy idea is potentially coordinating with maintainers, as they're the ones approving the PRs, to say, here's a block of time on the release dates when we're going to be cutting the release. If we could avoid merging approvals during that time, that would be cool. I think that would require human coordination and human effort, which is always a bit iffy, but it could be a good kind of first iteration of this. I could also see a world where, maybe we introduce something that's blocking in CI that says, okay, we specify a window, and during that window, we link in with some of the CI tooling and say we're actually going to block, merges to release branches during X period. Might be a future state of that. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up again here and see if anybody else had thoughts or ideas or, you know, uh, concerns about, the current process and ways we could change it. Willie,
Like what? Sorry. Please go ahead, Willie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I totally agree. Like, it's not just like it getting in the way of release notes. It's also like maybe there's a change that might mess up CI. So I think like, yeah, definitely like maybe a 12-hour or 24-hour code freeze before every release would be good. I don't know. I don't think it would be plausible to just tell people to not LDTM or approve or hold everything. So I think this has to be automated with like the CI jobs or stuff or bot or whatever. I'm not sure how that would go, but I think having some sort of automated hold before every patch or minor release would be good.
cool. Yeah. So not good.
Yeah, I had a basically same idea. Probably like I know like the Kubernetes has like kind of code freeze way of working, I guess. Like we could have take a look a little bit to that. So learn from them and check if it's like suitable for us.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've definitely seen success in the past with aligning with, upstream Kubernetes. I think, generally the maintainers are usually on board with those kinds of initiatives too. So I think that that's a great idea if they have something that works. I would definitely. I don't think it's too much of a a leap to say that their release process is more mature than ours. So I think anytime that we can borrow from things that they have put in place that are working, um, it's very rarely a bad idea. So yeah, plus one on that from me too. Um, any other thoughts or ideas around this topic?
Yeah, I agree with like all of these points. We should look into maybe Kubernetes or someplace for this code freeze, maybe CI distribution, some kind of automated thing, because I don't think we'll be able to stop people by just communicating. It would be difficult for us, but you know.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a valid concern. Implausible, the right word? Let me just say difficult. Cool. Anybody else on this topic? Willie, you've got the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I can start with the what went well. Like I think the comms team was very like proactive in picking up all the tasks, and I think we got all the improvement tasks merged and stuff. So I think I want to give them a shout out on that, and also for reaching out for help when needed. I think something that made me difficult was because I think everyone was in a time zone that was like kind of inconvenient for the meetings that we had. So we have it like at this time, but it's really late for most of the comms team. So it's kind of hard for them to kind of make the announcements, especially after a release, because it would be like past midnight at that point. I mean, I could still do everything like as a comms lead, but I think it would have been better if the shadows had more of an opportunity to contribute more to the comms. So um, yeah, I think it's just maybe a planning thing to maybe find a better time for, or maybe also like incorporating different time zones across teams, because I think there were just most people were in the same time zone for the comms team. So um, yeah, I think it's just a timing issue, and maybe we could take into account in time zones when we form our teams. Yeah, I didn't want to like make any person like stay up just to like send a release note or whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure what the immediate like solution is, but that's just something that we faced.
For sure. Yeah, no, totally. Just because there's not an obvious answer doesn't mean it's not valid. Yeah, and I definitely saw that. You know, uh, it does make it difficult to get people involved, and um, yeah, I don't know if there's an easy answer to like kind of my thought process for doing the release activities was just kind of plop them in the same block as the Wednesday stuff that we do. But yeah, that was a decision I made. I think last release cycle we had the releases occurring at a different time. I think they were 11 a.m. EST on Tuesdays rather than 12:30. Um, so yeah, that's also open to change. I don't know if we're there's probably never going to be a perfect time for anyone, a perfect time, but yeah, definitely something to look into. Nivedita, go ahead.
Yeah, like I would like to add on Willy's problem regarding the communication. Like it's just a thought that when I was like when we were in Kubernetes release team, we usually like for the CI signal, we used to have that kind of dashboard, and we used to maintain bit within the team, like if anyone available according to their time zones and availability, they can put like on which day and on which they want to monitor everything. So it's kind of it's kind of for the everyone, it's easier to see that, okay, for this time that person will take care, and it's kind of ease of monitoring. So that could be a kind of suggestion I experienced in the last release. So yeah,
Right, right.
that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea for kind of porting over to CI. So not good.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question to Nivedita. Like, okay, that's good to have. Like, that's good to hear that you were already like experiencing the Kubernetes relisting. So this like monitoring duties, was it like time-wise, like daily, for example, in the morning, this, and then like in the like from this time to this time, or was it like a day to day or like week to week kind of separation of the
No,
duties?
yeah, like in the dashboard, like we have few rows like regarding the daily monitoring, regarding the weekly reporting, like the sending message in the Google group, and reporting, giving go and no go thumbs up. In that way, like it's kind of a rotation, and it all depends on shadows. Whenever they have, it's on them, like when they are able to according to their variability, they have to put their name on the dashboards, so that monitoring is day to day, but it's not like it's only specific to that person. Other persons also keep an eye, but it's kind of like if someone away, that we all know that, okay, this today it's that person day. So it's just, it will give kind of it will be on rotation, and it's just give everyone opportunity to learn and send message, and to to show their presence in the community as well. So it was kind of like that. Yeah, it
Thank
was
you
all
very
about CI signal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for explaining that. We also had like last CIT, like in the release, we tried like dividing weeks by
Yeah.
2 people. So
Okay.
yeah, that's why I was like asking like how did you how it was in like in the Kubernetes case. But thank you for clarifying. Thanks.
Cool. So now you got the next one too. You want to get? Or I guess
Yeah.
does anybody else have thoughts on the last one? Coordination of, timing and team responsibilities, things like that. All right, cool. Yeah, go ahead with your next one, Sanat.
Yeah. I I was like thinking maybe probably this is not might not be perfect idea, but I will still say that. So like so we are actually advertising this CI team like member selection only in CAPI Slack channel, right? I was thinking like, would it be better to make it announcement like to reach wider audience, and like how does I know there can be a drawbacks like people who are not at all familiar with CAPI would join as well, but that can be a like my idea is like we might miss some people who are looking for the opportunity to work for to do good for the community. So that's but this also comes with like drawbacks as well.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Yeah, I was kind of just basing the communications off of, what we have for precedent. But I think literally even when what we have in the book or in the docs for the release lead is for coordinating the next team, it's like there's no official process. So I think it's still pretty open-ended, and is, from my experience, just been based off of kind of what's worked in the past. I don't see anything wrong with trying new things and seeing what comes of it. So yeah, definitely appreciate you bringing this idea to the table. So yeah, we're coming to the end here. Does anybody have final? I left action items blank. Adil and I are having kind of like a handover meeting today. So I think there aren't a terrible amount of topics here. I think maybe for the improvement items, Adil, if you're okay with this, you and I can just go over them and see. I don't think there's anything that doesn't deserve kind of a follow-up. Maybe the ones that are solidified enough, we'll kind of go through and say, okay, we're going to open issues for these because we understand them. And then for things that are a bit more open-ended, maybe we'll just leave them as, you know, potential discussion topics for after the new team is kind of formalized. Maybe if somebody wants to bring them to office hours or just kind of push them a bit further to get some additional feedback before we open an issue. Does that sound reasonable? Does anybody have other thoughts or last minute ideas here?
Yeah, sounds okay to me.
Cool. Sunat, go ahead.
Yeah, sounds perfectly fine. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, let's. Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Awesome. Yeah, and this doc is available, so you know if things come up, we can keep iterating on them, and obviously the new team will start meeting very soon to continue these discussions too. So thanks everybody for joining. If you're joining community office hours, I'll see you then. If not, yeah, thanks again for all the help and participation for making this last release cycle a success. Yeah, it's really great to have so much interest and to be able to yeah, get that minor release out. So thanks again for all your help, and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you, Stephen.
Bye.
Thank you.